What will truth do to you? The truth can hurt you, or the truth can change you. What will truth do to you?
Hello there, my beautiful and handsome viewers and listeners. How are you today? How has your day been? Mine has been beautiful because I have got a beautiful mind. You are welcome to your reality talk show, Beautiful Mind. This is the show where we say no to stigmas, discriminations, and any judgmental attitude. On this show, we talk about issues that are considered as taboo, that people generally do not like to talk about in public because they think they are not worthy. And our aim is to let people know that they do not need to suffer in silence because help is readily available to everybody. Beautiful Mind believes that everyone deserves love and respect, regardless of their past, their disability, their illness, color, education, religion, and even sexual orientation. This is a show that wants you viewers to see beauty less of what they are going through. You're welcome on board. Why don't you grab yourself a cup of tea, hot chocolate, water, coffee, soup, whatsoever that makes you feel comfortable. Please come along and enjoy today's show. Remember that you can connect with us on all our social media and you can send in your views, your comments, and your contributions on all our platforms. Please do not leave this show to just the two of us today. We want you to be part of it. And remember that it is by you sharing this show that a lot of people will be aware. So please help us share this show and let people know that it is time for Beautiful Mind. You can also give us a call here on 079 603 91983. And if you're calling outside UK, please put +44 79603 91983. And the topic we are discussing today is second chance. Who doesn't want a second chance? And some people say we don't deserve second chance. Once you've done something, that's it. I'm blocking you. I'm deleting you. I don't want to see you. I don't want to have anything to do with you. Well, is that the way God deals or relates with us? Well, don't go anywhere because today my guest will be discussing, will be sharing with us his journey from nothing to something. And it's not just something, but it is something great. Today, we will be discussing about the real life experience of a gospel minister. Yes, I know you've seen his picture, but some of you might not know him. And that is why you are going to meet him if you're meeting him for the very first time today. A very, very handsome, talented minister of the gospel. Wow, Sam, how are you today?
Thank you. Thanks for the introduction. Yeah, fantastic.
Thank you much for laying aside everything. I know you are a very busy man, but you chose to lay everything aside to come and bless us today, and we're not taking it for granted. Thank you very much, Sam, for coming to bless us today. I know you because I have been following you for the past few years, but for the benefit of some people that are meeting you for the very first time, can you please introduce yourself to my listeners and my viewers?
I am Sam Adebanjo. Sam Adebanjo. I have a company, a ministry company, because we get paid, Gospel Touch. And it all started also with a ministry called Desire to Worship God. The shirt, if you can see it, Desire to Worship God. And, that's just pretty much me. My life is about desire to worship God. Desire to worship God, meaning that it's a process of growing. It's a process of really, really desiring and wanting more of God. And I know through this journey, there's going to be you know, there's going to be some challenges in my faith or in anything else, you know, that's life. But the only time I stop is when I hear God say, well done, you did all that you could, well done, my good and faithful servant. So that's what it's all about, desire to worship God, to get to know God more, daily walks with God.
Wow, thank you very much, Sam. We all desire to walk with God, and we want to hear that word, being said to us at that last time, that last day. Well done, you good and faithful servant. And that will be our question in the mighty name of Jesus. Thank you very much for coming to join us. I still want some people that are meeting you for the very first time to have a taste of you, what you are capable of doing. So please, viewers and listeners, stay tuned and enjoy this piece of Sam Adebanjo. We'll be right back. And this
This is Chief Bamidele Sam Adebanjo.
I'm available. Yes. Are you? Oh my God. If you haven't seen that song, you have to go and check it out again and again and again. Thank you very much, Sam, for that. That was awesome. That was beautiful. Well done. Really, really fantastic. Right. Let's go straight into today's topic. And please don't forget that you can watch us live on YouTube as well. Go on our YouTube channel right now, Beautiful Mind TV, and subscribe to the channel, and you can watch it on your big screen. Yes. And the topic for today is a second chance. Yes, second chance. We all journeying from nothing to something, and not to something great. Look at that piece that we've just seen. That, one of those great things that Sam has been able to do. Sam, just like thousands of young people, you were not born in United Kingdom. You came to the United Kingdom at a very young age. What was the reason of you coming?
Well, my mom moved there when I was probably about 10 years old. She moved there, and I came from a polygamous home. So my dad has two wives. So we all grew up in the same house, and my mom decided to leave and come to England for a better life. and prepare the ground for the rest of us to come over. So I came in when I was 15. Yeah, basically just to come and join my mom here, really. That's pretty much it. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So what are some of the things that distracted you from, focusing on your goals? Because I believe that once you get to a green land, that's the way we say it, a greener pasture. We all have goals, but something came along and distracted you from your goal. What were the things that distracted you from focusing on your goals?
Well, I mean, I came here, I got saved at the early age of around about 10. So when I mean I was so on fire for God. Um, and I would just so I'm fire for God, and I came here when I was 15, and I realized that it was a complete different atmosphere, completely different story, complete different approach um to church. Yeah, the school I went to anyway. The school I went to was like I remember everybody used to laugh at me. I used to always preach because I always believed that you have to preach the gospel. So I used to always tell them, oh my God, have you given your life to God? Do you know Christ? And everyone just used to laugh at me. I used to run away from the girls, because I went from, my school, they were very, the girls there was something else. So I used to kind of like, no, 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 no. And it was so hard because I used to pray to God like, God, I need like-minded people. I'm the only one here. But it didn't take me too long for me like to join them really. I think a year later I was already kind of by that time I backsliding, and I just thought things don't run the way they were running in Nigeria, in the UK. So I couldn't beat them, so I joined them. So that's pretty much what happened. Um,
Mm,
and,
mm.
and I think,
I love that statement.
yeah,
I love that statement that you mentioned that you couldn't beat them,
by
but you joined them.
um,
And you got to the point that police, you got detained by the police.
yeah,
How did you get to that point?
yeah,
And where were you detained?
yeah.
What did you
So
do?
after
Like how many times were you detained for?
after that journey of me moving away from Christ, and when I started, I went to school here. So I started from like year 9. It would have been year 10 with my age anyway, but I started a bit backwards. And from when I started college, even before then, before I started college, my first year in college, I left home again. That was like meeting people that were telling me, oh yeah, by that time I've met friends. I was started going to clubbing. By the age of 16, 17, I was clubbing. I was, I was just very excited about going to clubs, especially dancing with girls, and all that. So that was a nice part of it. And I just used to like that. And then eventually I met my friends in uni, and we had the same, we wanted to just also make money. Anyway, we're gonna make money. I never did drugs. I never did all the gun crime stuff because that was not really me, because I was saved. Because that never left me. But I was with these friends that I knew that were decent people, but the standard of decent for me was still people that are not necessarily straightforward in the way they were doing things. So on this particular day, the first day I got arrested, literally I was just working with a group of these friends I just met in college. They didn't do anything literally bad, but I mean, one guy was being rude, another person went and said, "What you doing?" Took his mobile phone, not because he wanted the mobile phone, not because the mobile phone is nice, but because this guy was sincerely actually very rude, was being racist towards the group of guys, and this one guy out of us wasn't having it. So obviously the police came, arrested all of us. It's a group of black people, and they said it was a robbery because one of us has taken somebody's mobile phone, which again, he took the phone because he wasn't thinking. He just took it like, furthermore, you're being rude, I'm going to take your phone, you know, just to upset, just to, but obviously the guy called the police. So that was the first time I got arrested, and I was sat there and I was like, oh, why? What is this? And from that time I knew that I knew by this time I was already in the world. I was not living the way I was living. And when I mean living in the world, it wasn't like, knowing what I know now, it wasn't anything really bad. It's just what young people do among the circle. You go out, you have friends, you want to go party, you want to chill out, just having fun. We had nothing else to. We had no direction in life, and yeah, that was the first time. And I said to myself, you know what, God, I'm gonna come back to you. I'm gonna come back to you. But instead of things getting better, it didn't get better, because from then my mom said, right, you're still going to this church thing. We're not going to the white garment church. We started going before. Then my mom started going to mosque. But at this time now, became a Muslim, and it just got worse and worse in terms of my relationship with God, because now I'm not a Muslim. I'm now going to mosque, and I know that this is somebody that was saved, and I didn't start going to mosque by choice. I went there because of my mother. It's something that she said we had to do. And then so I just got more in trouble and more in trouble. I could be in a car, in a car with people. Then I remember one time we were coming up from a club. I just got, they stopped the car, and they arrested all of us. Once again, arrested all of us in the car. There was 4 of us in that car that day. And they said, oh, the car I said, what happened? I was even sleeping. The police woke me up, and then they put us into arrested us. And I was in cell, and they said the car was stolen. And what happened after that, we find out after, is that my friend bought the car, but the person he bought the car from reported the car stolen to claim insurance, for insurance claim. So obviously what he did was illegal, but again, we got arrested. We didn't get charged. Even the first time I got arrested, we didn't get charged. But again, it's getting arrested. Being in cell is not a nice experience, whether you were charged or not for it. And then from that time, really, it was just up and down, from living in temporary accommodation in hostel, where I now have my freedom, because at this stage I left home, because I just wanted my own freedom. I just thought, you know what, if I continue the way I am, and I saw how frustrated my mom was with me, bringing her children all the way from Nigeria to England in a polygamous home, where everybody in her mind, she started thinking, well, people want us to fail. So that was a lot of pressure on my mother. So that's one reason why I left home. I thought, you know what, if I don't leave home, I'm going to drive this woman crazy. So plus my friends, I saw my friends leaving by themselves. Yes.
Yes. Thank you very much for that. I just want to share something. Please help us share this video. What he's saying or sharing with us this evening is his personal experience, and he's made some mistake. He doesn't want anyone out there to go through that journey that he went.
Okay.
Did it cost him? Did it cost him? Again, you have to stay tuned to really, really understand what you went through. So please help us share this video so that people will be blessed by what Sam is sharing this afternoon. Sam, you mentioned to me, during my pre-interview with you, that it was like you were under a powerful spell, what some people would call assassin.
Yeah.
Why did you say that?
Wow, you got great memory. You actually took some notes. Yeah, definitely. That's what it was. It was like when you find yourself constantly in the wrong place at the right time, when you're constantly doing things because you think, oh, you know what, I'm going to do this. If I do this way, all right, if I do this way, I could, I drove without, driving license, like some people take the risk, and now you can't get away with that. But back in the day, you could get away with that for a couple of years and probably get away with it, and I was one of those people. And again, I would do that and get stopped by the police, and all that, and I would do the same thing again. So it's almost like, and at this stage, I even devised a way to make money, by taking mobile phones, selling buying mobile phone, buying in my name but not in my name, that kind of thing. Again, I did that. I got arrested for that. So it was like back to back. I'm like, this is to be honest, is only God's grace really that I didn't end up in prison. Because when you start doing things back to back, and it's almost like you're getting arrested and police knows your name, like, okay, and sometimes they didn't put it together, but it was only a matter of time that that was I was gonna end up in that way. And one what I'm not gonna jump ahead of your interview, but yeah, but I'll wait for you to answer the next question. So yeah.
You mentioned that you came from a polygamous family. What impact did that have on you? Again, I wanted to share this because the other parents that might be in the same situation, or they're planning or thinking of separating or divorcing their partner, so they will know the impact it does have on children.
Yeah, I mean, coming from living here, and when my mother left, um she didn't really leave my dad. um but one thing that I know that happened was that I didn't have a communication with my father, because of probably he was going through some hard times as well financially. And because of the communication, you couldn't really we don't have access like now. We have access to mobile phone, you can just speak. But then when I was here for the 5 years my mother was here, I spoke to my mom maybe once a year. Why? Because we have to travel to someone's house to receive phone call from my mom, and then we have to wait 1 2 hours that if she called yet, and then she may not call because something happened, the line was bad or something. So that because of the communication, so thank God for for phone communication now. So but then it was more difficult for me to have communication, and when he did, we got communication through letters, that he would write a letter and all that stuff. So really it was a big void for me. I think for children that are growing up without the mom and the dad, um especially for boys, when they start to that sign years, or especially get into teenage years, it can be quite challenging, because you need a man to put you straight. You need a man to that time when you miss your father, or your mother. I remember again when I was in Nigeria, that time when I missed my mom so bad, and all that. And I know all those things have their impacts, and for people that now separate, eventually obviously they separated because my mom was there for quite a long time. But that wasn't what affected me, that they separated, because by that time I was old enough. But it was more the fact that I didn't have that male figure at home. My mom had to carry a lot of these things herself. And I knew how stressful it was to her. And I know part of the pressure was also people around her, praising their own children when she's around. People purposely do that. And I try to tell my mom that people are doing that on purpose. But when you meet people, they say, oh yeah, my child just got a first class, but my child just got this. I just promised my child that when he passes this, I'm going to give him a car. But then my mom, and you got a child academically that's not quite there. Do you know what I mean? And so what I say to parents also is that don't compare your children, because everybody have their own destiny. And and if you're going through divorce, you're going through separation, you know I really can't advise on that. But I just know that this thing does have a big impact on the lives of children. It has a big impact on there. And if you're a single person that you need a male model at home, you know the male model is not always your partner, your boyfriend or something. You need somebody reputable. You need to get your son or your daughter involved in a church, in a church that you've been there, and you can encourage them to go, or find a lot of young mentors around, or get them to listen to a lot of motivational stuff. Because what we do at home, what you give them, a role model they find, can make such a big difference to their life, where they find themselves. And this is something that I don't even tend to think about a lot. The changes in my life actually came through people I met on the street. And they met me, and they said to me, you guys would have heard of a lady called Lauren Cato. All right, she's a gospel artist. Our older sister I didn't know this then, but years later she came to a concert and realized who I was. It was the same person she brought out of the street 10, 15 years later is the first person that's become this gospel artist. A successful gospel artist in quotes. And and sometimes you never know when you're meeting people and the seed you're sowing when you're ministering the gospel to people. This was the seed that she sowed. And when she met me on the street and she was talking to me, what do? You should come to our church. Then from there, my mom actually allowed them, even though I was going to Muslim, to start taking me to church. And this is where that start in my life, that transformation started through these people that met me on the street, started taking me back to church. And then from going back to church to leading me to college to go and pick the right course. And the significance of a mentor in your life, or that one person that you meet that can guide you, is on this. You cannot even stay. It's on. I don't know what word to use for it, but it's so valuable, so valuable.
Much. Thank you very much, Sam.
Yeah,
We're going to go to the transformation very soon,
yeah,
but I really want people to understand what you've been through before you get to that transformation. You said you left home, go and stay with your friends, and you left your mom, and
yeah,
your mom loves you. Did you not think the impact it's going to have on her? And I
yeah.
believe you've got siblings as well. Did you not think what it was going to have, on them? And because in African generation, they believe that the firstborn
We
lay the
did.
first foundation. What foundation do you think
Definitely,
you're laying
definitely.
down for them?
It was definitely that. I definitely didn't lead them right in that aspect, because the way I was like, you know what? I was very hard on my siblings because I've got two sisters and one brother, and and before in Nigeria altogether it's about nine of us, and I'm the oldest of. I've got another elder sister, and I've always just been so really hard on them. A lot of them got a lot of beatings for me. I've always been that kind of person. So at home, I was very protective over them. But it was almost like I was this little husband at home, as a father figure. But but I was hard. So my mother never allowed me to get away with me being hard with my sisters. So I didn't get my own way. So in itself, it was quite frustrating to see the direction they were going. And it was quite frustrating. And then on myself, I always just go out as well and just have fun with my friends. Come home at 12 o'clock. That's okay. That's what my friends are doing. My mom don't need to lock me out for that, but my mom would lock me out. Obviously, that's not right now. You know what I mean? It's not right. Then I used to think that. I used to think that. And they was like, yeah, she should lock me out. I've told you I'm going out. That's what my friends are doing. And then, so I just thought, I put all this together and I said, you know what, I just have to leave. And I think the main reason one day why I decided I was definitely gonna leave is because I did something. I had gotten in trouble with the police, and I got home and my mom was so upset. She was so upset. She slapped, she punched, she did everything like Nigerian parents do, and she screamed. And that day I said to myself, I sat down, I said, you know what? If I don't leave home, I'm gonna cause a breakdown to this woman, man. I didn't think of changing my ways, but I said if I don't leave home. So, and I left home. I left home. Fortunately for me, it was a very rough time of experience of not being at home. Um, but fortunately for me, behind that, I said to myself, I'm gonna leave home. But when I come back, I'm gonna make you proud. I had that behind. So everything I did, apart from getting arrested all the time, but everything else I did I was working towards. That's what getting, that's why it meant so, because I wanted to make you proud. And I said to myself, I'm gonna make her proud. But we were still in communication, and she did say to me that, doors open, but obviously I went to go and sleep with friends and friends' house, and eventually, lived in temporary accommodation. That was all path of how God was leading me to a certain place. I'm sure you asked me more of the question without jumping on it to that one.
Sam, why did your friend have so much influence on you that much? Again, I'm asking that question because there are some people out there now, maybe teenagers or even adults, and their friend is having lots of negative impact on their life and they don't know how to say no. Why do they have so much impact on you? Why can't you be a man that you were, this man of God that you've given your life to Christ at a very young age, all these values and beliefs that you've learned over the years? Why can't you stand on your feet and say, no, I can't continue this way? Why was it difficult?
In a lot, in many cases, in my case, is being alone and being in an environment. That's why it's very important for us to watch our environment, because if you live in a place where everybody has a 1-bedroom flat and there's 4 people in the flat, everybody live in a crowded place, that's all they know. Yeah, if you live in that place and if you are the one that have a 2-bedroom, you feel like, yeah, you're doing well. You feel like you are more comfortable that way. You gauge yourself based on your environment. So I was in that place where I was, in fact, even though I wasn't living a Christian life, my nickname was Pastor Sam. So my friends have a great respect for me, of my morals and the way I behave and all that. They didn't see me drink alcohol. I never smoked. I know that I never go into gangs, fights and all that stuff. So they just saw me as a rich. I really I felt valued within that team, within my friends, my associations. So for me, really, like when I'm looking at some of my friends as well, and I'm thinking I'm a good guy. Do you know what I mean? So what I'm going through, the challenges I'm going through at home, and I'm like, oh, my mom is too hard for me. I'm a good guy. She had no idea how much of a good person I am. So and I felt like mom was being hard. And then with my friends as well. And I also saw that they were reasonably, even to now, actually, some of them they're good. They're actually decent people that have morals. Because I'm talking about, we were always around Peckham, the errand of somebody going to go and stab somebody, somebody that is going to go and carry gun, do this, people doing major frauds. We didn't quite get involved in that. So from all I know, what I know, these were decent people. And even when I was leaving them, my friends never said, that's a bad thing. My friend just, they'll probably have said to me, Sam, why do you go home? But they also understand that I was comfortable. I was happy, even though I was sleep at the house or whatever. They just saw that I was just this person that was just happy. And for Sam to have left on me, he knows what he's trying to do.
Thank you very much, Sam, for that.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about the transformation. I believe you started mentioning it, but you said there's something I really want you to mention to the audience and what you really mean by that. When I was doing the pre-interview with you, you said that you changed, something changed you, and you have to go through something that is called separation.
Yeah.
What exactly do you mean by that? Can you explain? Because I want you to explain, because some people might be watching and they need to do that this moment, this period in their life.
Yeah. My process of separation started, first of all, I said to myself, I was going to go to university in Manchester. It was random. For me, first of all, I wasn't the most academic person. I am not the most academic person. But one thing that I said to myself is that I knew education is important in where we come from. And I knew that even growing up and having all my siblings being first stars, A-star students and all that. And sometimes if I get D, it's a miracle. And I was like, for me, I was like, you know what, I was determined, really. So I'm going to uni again in Manchester. For me, that was where the separation started, because I left my friends. I left my old friends that were here, and I said, guys, I'm going to uni in Manchester. And they were like, what? You're going to Manchester? And they didn't go uni, by the way. Then anyway. And then they were like, and one of my friends said to me, I give you 3 months. I never forgot. I never forget this. He said, I give you 3 months, you're gonna come back. And I mean, he said in a way, sometimes people will say that if you go to certain place and you don't feel comfortable, you're gonna come back. And that I held that. I held that. They say in Nigeria that you hold something with your left hand, which is you don't eat with it, or something like your left hand, so you keep it. And I was like, you know what? So that drove every time I wanted to give up while I was in Manchester in uni. I remember that somebody had said to me that I'm gonna come back in 3 months. So so that separation started, and I was also in a relationship where I felt like I always knew that if you're a Christian, you can't be in a relationship when you're also fornicated. I'm not judging anybody, but that's where I felt then, and then and that's still the case. And yes, I went through that separation with ex-girlfriend and my friends, and I started changing my friends. And one thing that happened to me is that all of a sudden a whole set of people, girls and guys that was around, were now people that were they were so passionate about God. They feared God. They respect themselves. They respect their body. They do things the right way. All of a sudden I was surrounded by those people. All right. Why? Because one day I said I had to go through this separation, because in order for me to change the way I live, I have to change my environment, because I can't be. And I remember when I first said when I rededicated my life to God in 2002, after all the stuff I've been doing, one particular day, I said, Lord, I am not coming back to this cell again. I'm not doing this no more. And then from there, for me, rededicating my life to God, I now had to go through all this separation of leaving my old friends behind, and everything, becoming to now set a new circle of influences around me. And I felt like that was more difficult to do while I was that was more difficult for me to do as a born again Christian, and still having the same old friends, because I was no longer who I used to be.
Thank you very much, Sam. I wanted it to come from his mouth so that we would all know that sometimes things we always say to ourselves, we want second chance, we want another chance, we want to be given another opportunity, we want to do things better. But we keep doing the same thing over and over. And when you are doing the same thing the way you've been doing it, you will keep getting the same results.
That's
And that
right.
is why some of us, we need to go through that separation phase, that season of separation. Just because somebody has been your friend from childhood does not mean you have to continue in that friendship if
Yep.
it's not having any positive impact in your life.
That's right.
You've been listening to some music, and those music are influencing your life, your ways of thought, the way you program your mind in a certain way that is not godly, that is not bringing positive influence on you. Why are you still listening to such music?
Wow.
Some of us, we need to change our environment. Again, this can be difficult to do because some environments are very expensive and some are not. But when you want something desperately, you have to take a drastic reactions.
Come on now.
Get something, and that is why I love it when he said he went through that separation phase. And I believe a lot of us, we need to do it as a teenager, as an adult. We all need to do it. There are some friends you need to delete off your phone from now.
Come on now.
They're just adding numbers. They're not adding any positive influence in your life. And there's some CDs you need to delete off your system. No. And some clothes we need to let go of and not be putting on, because the way you look actually says a lot about you. Thank you very much, Sam, for that.
Thank you. That's really good. That's good.
Let us fast forward the event. You started singing. I know you said a bit about how you met people that introduced it. But I still can't get the fact that you are a Muslim. You were going to mosque.
Yeah.
Why a gospel song? I can't just add the two together. Did you actually give your life to Christ again before you started doing all of this?
Yeah, of course. Like, obviously I was again, I was saved from about 10 years old, and then I went back when I came here. So at the age of 21, I had said to myself, I'm not living this life no more. I'm going to, even though I was going to mosque, but the my faith never left me. The way I praise God was always through songs. When I go to challenges, was always through songs. And sometimes I still know that I had to pray. I had to kneel down. Sometimes I would pray to God, and I would ask God, show me the way. Where do you want me to go? Which direction do you want me to go? But look, my mom has told me I have to be a Muslim. But God, show me the direction. Is it Christianity? Is it Islam? Which way is correct? And I remember seeking God for this. And in a really divine way, God brought different people into my life at different stage of my life. At one stage, I ended when I started becoming, I started going to church, but I wasn't still born again, so I was still, kind of in church. But when I actually became born again was when I started going to deeper life in Manchester. And God used this. I went to a church and I was saying to people, oh yeah, I'm a born again Christian. I remember I went into this church, this deeper life, in London, and then one, they took my contact, and then the pastor there, and I said, I'm based in Manchester. So the pastor there called me and said, oh, he's a pastor of the deeper life in Manchester. So he's gonna arrange to be picking me up if I want to come to church. I was like, why not? So this pastor kind of became a mentor to me at that stage of my life. So it's really amazing how God brings different people to your life at that stage. And I believe that really helped me to grow. And, but at this stage, I knew I'd already rededicated my life to God, but I needed that help. I needed the right people around me. So God started surrounding me with, with the right people. And I was making those right moves as well to really be friends with the right people, the right, the girls that even if I look at their face funny, they would say, Sam, why are you looking at me that way? Those kind of stuff, So all of a sudden I was in this secured environment where things, but I didn't have an overnight right. I'm now getting everything right. I still made some mistake. It was still a journey, but one thing is I was no longer doing things the way I used to do it. I didn't try. I said to myself in 2002, from 2002, no more dodgy business, no more driving without license. Right, I'm a born again Christian now. I'm going to do my driving test. Bam, passed it. I'm a born again Christian. I'm going to do this challenge. I remember doing my exam, my final exam at uni, and I had this exam, one of the subjects. I said, "There's no way I'm gonna pass this without me writing some notes down and cheating on the exam." And I was thinking, I have to find a way to pass this. I cannot fail. People waiting for me to fail. And cut the long story short, and I said, Lord, I'm a born again Christian now. I can't live that life. I can't do things that way. Plus, I'm not going to let that take credit to what God is doing or what God has done in my life. Again, I passed the exam with flying colors, So God had just showed me so faithful, just being in Him, just being the most. My life was just more peaceful and still more peaceful. And of course, there's still challenges. Sometimes we go through in life, it's part of life, but having Christ in my life and making that U-turn is the best thing ever, decision I ever made. And, to date.
Very much. I just love your sincerity. I love your openness. I love the fact that you're just playing, you're not hiding anything. And I believe people connect more with people that they know that they're genuine. Thank you. I think I might know that pastor you're talking about. That pastor is a great influencer, is a positive influencer, and is a great mentor. I think I know that pastor in the pastor you're talking about. Thank you very much for joining us. Please, if I didn't mention your name, that is because you've not said anything or you're not telling us where you are watching. Let us know where you're watching from, or just say hi to us. let us know that you are part of us today. Thank you very much, Esther Aregdeshola. She said, I love this topic. This is a great lesson for us not to go back to sin. She went further to say, thank you for sharing your past. I'm sure this will bless so many lives. It will bless so many lives if you help us share this video. Please help us share this video. Esther went further to say we need to be careful of the friend we choose. You are so spot on. Thank you, Mommy Sheudipoli, for joining us this afternoon. Thank you, Olufumi. Thank you, Toyi and Jayisimi. Thank you very much, Ejiro. Thank you very much, Ejiro. Thank you for joining us. Please help us share this video today, because I believe what Sam Adebanjo is sharing with us this afternoon is something that will transform lives, not just a life, but many lives. And you would achieve that if you help us share this video. Right, Sam, I don't know, maybe, I'm very sure you must have heard about it. This word called karma. And that what it means, just for the benefit of people that do not understand what karma means. It means, that your past, what you've done in the past, will come back to haunt you. And have you, or do you think your past has come to hurt you in any way, or affected you in any way, that you want to share with us this afternoon?
But I think we go through in the process of what in every stage of our life, whether when we were, I'll speak for myself. There is an experience, of course. There's experience when you go through a process of where you've been arrested in this country. Unfortunately, for the stuff, like some people do things and they that the karma doesn't apply to it, because they do something, they just do it. They were a young person, like people like Obama. It was like, yeah, I used to smoke. I used to smoke weed, but they try to use it against him. But yeah, I was a young person then. I didn't know better. But unfortunately, there's some things that you do in some country because of the law that get recorded, and some of it never really leaves your record. Even if they say many years, some of it gets recorded. So some people are fortunate that they have a past that's not recorded. So therefore it doesn't quite work in the same way. Or things that maybe they've done that people know, or they got away with it. But in my case, I remember the time where I was working for the YMCA, and my first job, it was I remember my friend saying, if you have a criminal record, you're pretty much messed up. When I was in uni, so I was like, well, and for me that was a bit challenging. But I said to myself, I said, you know what? You overcome by the power of your testimony. And not only that, your past cannot determine your future. I don't care how bad what you've done. I don't care what you've done. Your past, you might be saying, yeah, but I want to work in the police or whatever. I don't think it determines your future. In my case, I work in housing. I work with vulnerable people, where sometimes if you have a record, it's hard for you to get to certain position. And my first job then, I was kind of afraid. My first full-time job, proper job. And I remember this was 2005. So I moved from Manchester to London, and I was quite excited to get that job. And I was like, yeah, but I never ticked anything about record. They say, oh, you haven't been arrested before. I never said anything. And of course, a year later, a few months later, they did call me in. They said, oh, the HR manager called me and said, Sam, I saw this on your record. And usually this is what will happen, but I'm just not gonna say anything. So I was like, okay, all good. But my line manager obviously knew that, and she wasn't, eventually she thought, okay, she's gonna tell the CEO and all that. So just about a year, I was told to come and basically to resign from the job, because I never disclosed what was on my record. So, which is of course deception. From my old days, where I was trying to get phone with deception. Something as silly as it sounds, is a record thing. If you try to take things that is not yours, and regardless how you done it, whether it's your name or not, or somebody's name. And so for me, I was like, that was hard, and I was like, Lord, why would I go through that? I was like, but I'm a different person. I've changed my ways and all that stuff. And but I decided that this wasn't going to hold me down. So instead of me sitting there and saying, "Oh yeah, you know what, this time job I can't apply for, this is karma or whatever," no, I didn't do that. I said, right, I needed to get out of that place anyway. Okay, I needed to get out of that because I am more clever than all. I'm more educated, not clever, more educated than all these people here. So that we're working in this place because why? I was the only one that had a degree in that setting. So for me, I was like, you know what? They just did me a favor. So I sowed some seeds as well. So I was praying to some seeds and people that I felt like I needed to bless. And also I decided to apply for a bigger position, a job of my dream, a job that I thought it was where I would have found myself. Maybe if I was in that place, maybe 8 6 7 8 years later, I could have walked towards that position. I applied for the job and I got the job. And even they sat down with me. They said, "Okay, cool, you got this record. Okay, that's no risk. It doesn't accept for the job. That's no problem at all." And all that. So in a way, what the enemy meant for evil, God will work it out for good. And your past is never, I don't care what it is, because there's some people have done some messed up stuff, and God has placed them in a position, that people would never imagine. So we are children of God. So that's where I felt like almost, and almost caught up with me. And caught up with me, but again, you have the power for you to always write. You can write. God has a plan, but you have a future for good, not for evil. So you can determine: are you going to cry, sit there, feel sorry for yourself, or are you going to use that as a determination for you to succeed even more?
Thank you very much for this. I don't know what you're still waiting for, why you haven't shared this video. Every word that is coming out of Sam's mouth is just like, wow, wow, wow. Thank you. What can I say than to say thank you very much for coming to encourage somebody out there today, coming to let them know that no matter what their past is, they shouldn't remain down there, but together. Whatever it is that the devil has meant for evil for them, God is turning it for good for them in the mighty name of Jesus. Thank you very much for all these powerful, utterances and prophetic word that you're releasing
Amen.
this afternoon. Please, I don't know what it is that you've done in the past. I just don't know. I don't
Yeah.
care. All I know is once you've settled it with God and you've turned your life around, all these principles that Sam has mentioned, you've done them. You've taken away bad people, bad influences away from your life. You have good motivating people. You have a positive influence person in your life. You have mentors. You have somebody that is coaching you. And you're doing the right thing as well as praying, because I know some people will just say, "I'm praying and I'm just waiting," and they will fold their hands, waiting for the car to just open without you pressing the key or getting the key to open it. No, both works together. You are praying and you need to start doing some things yourself as well. Thank you very much for that, Sam. Thank you, Mommy Sean Dupoli. She said, "Your life is a good inspiration on those young people out there, that things can still turn out good for them." Thank you very much, Ma. She went further to say, "Thank Sam for sharing your story." Thank you very much, Ma, for that. Sam, we're rounding up very shortly, but I
Yeah.
really want you to say just one lesson that all this experience, what is it that he has taught you that you want to leave with our people today?
This experience has taught me never to give up, never to give up. Look at Paul, look at his life. He used to be Saul, and it transformed his life around, and God used him powerfully. God has a plan. Your test, your pain, your past should not determine your future. We've all sinned, and we all still go through challenges. Sometimes we all, even being a Christian, have still done things where I thought, "Oh my Lord, Lord, that's not the way. But you know what? God constantly guides you, constantly works with you, constantly. And you know what? Guess what? Everything you go through, every challenges that you go through are things that you should be able to speak about. Don't let the enemy accuse you, to say to you you're not good enough. Don't let the enemy stop you from using your testimony to transform other people's life. You know what? Guess what? Because God has not given us the spirit of fear, but the spirit of power, love, and a sound mind. And I know it's so easy for us sometimes to be so afraid to want to share things openly. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's not a subject that I'm confident. The other day I did a video for the first time. I was like, I'm gonna post it, talking to people about this subject we're talking about. I'm like, no, I can't post this kind of message. But you know what? When you ask me to talk about this, I'm like, look, it's gonna bless somebody. I know Christians are so much. I told her, I said, Christians are the most unforgiving people. By the way, my battery is going to die. My battery's gonna die soon. So if it does die, please play my music. But I'm gonna say, but that's it. Just encouraging people that you know what, God loves you. Just don't let your past determine your future.
About your single, and I really wanted to mention something that you said because I will not forget that for the rest of my life. You said you went from public enemy to public idol. What do you mean by that? Because I really want you to tell people what you mean by that. And again, talk about your single as well, your new single.
Okay, my battery is gonna die now. I went from telling people saying I had a bad reputation to literally transforming me around. People wanted to know what I was doing. People wanted to get to know me because they were surprised I was able to turn my life around. And of course, you can find out more about me, www.dtwg.co.uk, www.dtwg.co.uk. And my battery is gone. I'm so sorry.
Wow, thank you very much, Sam, for that. I hope and I believe you have been blessed. I was encouraged by Sam when I listened to his story. I was like, oh my word, this is a man. And we hardly get man or men to talk out. And him trying to say, I want to come and share this to encourage somebody out there. I was really, really encouraged by that as well. And that is why it is really, really important for you to help us share this video, because I believe what Sam has said today, oh my God, it is transformational. You know anybody struggling with their identity, with their past, and thinking their past is going to haunt them for the rest of their lives, or thinking this word karma is going to come and catch up with them. God has not forgotten or forgiven them. Let them know that they have been forgotten, they have been forgiven, and they can turn a new leaf. So please, help us share this video. We're going to play Sam's video because I really want you to see the work, the amazing work Sam is doing right now. God is using Sam to do. So please stay tuned and we will be right back.
This is Chief Bamidele Sam Adebanjo.
Wow, wow. I love that track. I love the title. I am available. And that is what I want to leave you with this evening. Are you available? No matter what is it that you've been through in life, what is it that you are still going through? Are you still going to tell God, I am available for you? Wherever you want to send me, send me. Let me go. I am not ashamed of my past. I am not ashamed of my past experience, because I know those things that I called mess as message for somebody. Those things that I went through that are like a pain in my life are a purpose in my life. They're the purpose that's going to take me to my destiny. Are you going to say to God this evening that I am available despite what I am going through? And again, Sam said some things about setting aside, separation. Are you going to start deleting some friends off your phone this afternoon? Are you going to start listening to music that will edify your spirit, your body, and your mind? Are you going to say, this environment, I am not going to go there anymore. Whenever I am there, it makes me to do what I am not supposed to do? Are you going to accept and say, I am still work in progress despite what I am going through? And I believe and I know that my God has got a beautiful future for me. Everything He has got for me is so beautiful. Are you going to go and face life despite what you are going through? This is what I want to leave with you this afternoon. Thank you. Thank you very much for joining us today. I've been blessed, and I believe and hope that you have been blessed as well. Please, if you know you have been blessed, help us share this video. And you can watch us live on YouTube as well, on Beautiful Mind TV. Please, you can share that link as well. And whilst you're there, please subscribe to the channel so that you can know whenever we drop anything at all. And my movie is my baby. Yes, Sailing Point is still on YouTube. Please watch it and share with your teenagers, your girls, people that are going through stuff. Let them know that when they get to that sailing point, who are they going to sail with? Jesus is waiting, wants to come with you. When you are in that storm, are you going to have peace knowing that Jesus is with you in that storm? You need to watch that movie. It's a movie that is beautiful. It was inspired by God. And my book, Be Beautiful, again, is a beautiful of renewal of mind. When we're going through issues, when we're going through trials, when we're going through transformation, challenges, sometimes it's difficult to change our mindset once it has been fixed. And probably it is because of our environment where we were raised, or what we've been through, our experiences, and we fix our mind to a certain way. We need to reprogram it. We need God to digest, to translate, and to take away some dirty things away so that we can have a beautiful. And once you have a beautiful mind, then you will be you to your fullness. And that is what this book is all about, being you to the fullness by the renewal of your mind. So please get your copy on my website, www.beautifulmindonline.org. Thank you very much. And again, I hope you have saved this date on the 3rd of October. Yes, 10 October. Yes, 3rd of 10th. 2020. Please save this date. It is a date that you don't want to miss. You don't want to miss it, because we've got speakers lined up. It's awesome. All the speakers, oh my God. I don't even know how God connected it. Seriously, you don't want to miss this date. Save it in your diary. Be beautiful. Again, we want you to be, to be you to your fullness. And how can you be that when you are still chained down with some limitations, when you have some limitations around you? It is time to let go of those limitations and be you to the fullness. So the theme for this year conference is breaking limitations. It is time for you to let go and be what God says you are. Thank you very much. Thank you for always being there. I want to say thank you to AY, the ambassador, my producer, for putting all of this together. I love you to bits. Thank you. I love you all. Until next week, when I will be bringing another informative and educative topic your way. I remain your host, Adeyinka Adeun. Bye for now.